Shalom, shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai b'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of thy body, and shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon you and your households. Okay, as well as a spirit of endurance of what's to come on this planet Earth. Okay, all right, and the Lord is breaking this kingdom up. Okay, we're going home soon. So fret not, Yasharala. This is not forever. We are seeing in real time the demise of this evil world, and the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai destroying it piece by piece by piece. Let's go to scripture before I read, before I play the news segment, which is only 2 minutes 43 seconds, right? This decision on SNAP benefits and other benefits, okay? Whether, in America especially, the benefits are being cut here in the UK as well. I made videos on that, all right? But let's focus on Ground Zero America. The SNAP benefits decision, I believe, is November the 1st. 1 second. Let me make sure before I say it, it's correct. Is November the 1st, 2025, the deadline for decision on the SNAP benefits? If you Okay. Here is the latest as of 28th of October 2025. If you or your family rely on SNAP benefits, EBT cards will not be loaded with additional benefits beginning November the 1st. Your existing card will continue to work, but your regular payment will not appear. Okay. So a lot of these businesses in local stores, local neighborhoods, local areas, okay, but the so-called white man, the Edomite, is the biggest recipient of all kinds of benefits, but they always make the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, especially the so-called black man, the face of everything that has a negative connotation or negative connection to it, right? And they always make Jake the face of it. Okay, so these SNAP benefits, EBT cards, power a lot of businesses in local neighborhoods and local areas, okay, all different kinds of ethnicities of people. And so when these benefits are cut off, businesses are affected. When businesses are affected, they have to literally close shop. Hence the reason why people are not working, people don't have jobs, people don't have disposable income. Hence why they are so-called crashing out and saying they can't decide whether they've got to eat, or they've got to put fuel in their car, or they've got to get to work, or they've got to do shopping, because it's so expensive to put fuel in your car, and the fuel's going to basically then cost a week's shopping or whatever, or a couple of days shopping. So people are trying to decide, tossing coins, which way I should go, because the Lord is destroying everything, making everything more expensive, and salaries are not going up, and the money's getting weaker, and inflation, right? And then on top of that, people don't have the money to spend, and when they don't have the money to spend, they don't have the money to buy clothes, cars, luxuries, food, beverages, go to clubs, pubs, bars, cinemas. Then all these places close and becomes a ghost town, dystopian looking. And that's what's exactly happening worldwide, right? And along with that, the Lord is cutting jobs left, right, and center of all large conglomerates and large organizations, numerous. Okay, I made videos of numerous banks being shut, numerous large stores being shut here in the UK and the States. Okay, but Amazon is a huge powerhouse. They make billions in profits, right? Every year. They're like in the movie Demolition Man, where during the franchise wars in the movie, they show that Taco Bell is the last place standing where people go to eat. It's like, when everything goes down, Amazon is probably going to be the last place where people buy everything from, but yet they're still letting go of people. Why? Because AI is coming into effect. All right, let's just go to that first. Okay, yeah. because Amazon is cutting jobs. They say they're going to cut 14,000 roles, but earlier they said they were going to cut 30,000 workers in corporate roles. But they divided that almost by 50% and said, okay, it's only going to be 14,000 roles, which is on a international basis worldwide, which is a significant number. That's 14,000 roles, which means, let's just say there's 14,000 men. Each man has, let's just say each man has 2,000, say 2 children each. That's 28,000 children being affected, along with a man. Okay, so that's 40. That could be 14,000 times 4, because each man has 4 people they've got to look after. So what's that? Okay, that's damn near 56,000, right? People being affected. All right. Yeah, 56,000. Yeah, being affected. Yeah, 56,000 people being affected. Just coming up with some numbers, because obviously when a person's working, they're either supporting themselves or they're supporting loved ones too. So this is going to have a significant effect, right? Amazon to cut about 14,000 corporate jobs. Okay. Okay. Is Amazon cutting 30,000 or 14,000 jobs? Amazon to cut about 14,000 corporate jobs. AI push. October 28th, Reuters. Amazon said on Tuesday it will reduce its global corporate workforce by 14,000 people, with more cuts expected next year, 2026, which is basically 8 to 9 weeks away. Was it now? November? Yeah, less than that. Okay, November's on Saturday, right? So more expected next year in a major shakeup driven in part by adoption of who? Artificial intelligence at the tech giant. So you have artificial intelligence taking over jobs. All right. AI is up, AI, artificial intelligence taking jobs. Isaiah 19 and 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. No more work in Egypt. All right. News this morning. Amazon is laying off. Copyright fair use. Let's get back to that breaking news this morning. Amazon is laying off 14,000 employees. The retail giant confirming this move in the last 2.5 hours.
Now, according to Reuters, the company could lay off even more people, as many as 30,000, making it the largest round of layoffs since 2022.
Okay, she just touched on 30,000, so more than double the amount then. Okay, so there you go. Could be even more.
KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin is live at their Bellevue headquarters, and Brooke, experts say this could impact Seattle's economy and the areas.
Yeah, those marketing experts from the University of Washington say if those 14,000 layoffs are from here at the Bellevue headquarters, these corporate positions, then those people will stop spending money here while they're on the job hunt. That means less tax revenue and even a budget shortfall.
There you go. I was just touching on the role of the domino effect or the snowball effect. One thing affects another, chain reaction. No money being spent in that local area. I thought it was 14,000 jobs on an international basis, but this is apparently 14,000 layoffs just in that area alone, which is Seattle, right? Okay, let's just see what they say. Which is a huge amount, right?
Potential in the future. Amazon released a quote statement just this morning saying that we're working hard to support everyone whose role is impacted, including offering most employees 90 days to look for a new role internally. The timing will vary based on local laws, and our recruiting teams will prioritize internal candidates to help as many people as possible. This comes after another Amazon layoff announcement earlier this month. They tell us they planned on laying off around 15% of its HR department, which is about 1,500 employees. In June, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said the use of AI could lead to more job cuts in the future. According to Reuters, these layoffs would reduce expenses and compensate for overhiring during the pandemic. University of Washington professor Jeff Schulman says this will make it even harder for people to find a tech job.
These last 2 years have been very difficult for people in the tech industry as we see more and more companies engaging in larger and larger cuts, and the search for another job after those cuts is taking longer and longer.
Amazon is also has corporate offices in Arlington, Virginia, but it's unclear which city the majority of those cuts will be in. But on the day-to-day side of things, Amazon is actually hiring for warehouse workers. They said a few weeks ago that they
This is what they always do. They give you bad news and they say, "Oh yeah, we're also hiring for warehouse workers." You know, they always do that.
do plan on bringing in about
You know,
250
they give you some shit news, and after that, they're going to add a little bit of sugar on top of the shit. Oh yeah, we're laying off 14,000 workers or 30,000 workers, as they just said, right, in a certain specific area, apparently Seattle and Virginia or whatever, right? And now they're saying, okay, but we're going to take on more warehouse workers.
1,000 seasonal employees. That way they can get help with the holiday rush. Live in Bellevue, Brooke Griffin,
Oh, seasonal employees. So basically for about 2 months, okay, they can make a few quid, whoever wants that kind of job.
News. Yeah, a major story today. Thank you, Brooke. And going in depth, corporate workers have had quite an impact on the Seattle economy. According to data from 2023, the company employs some 55,000 employees on the Seattle campus and another 10,000 or so in Bellevue and on the east side. When workers returned to the office 3 days a week in 2023, credit card transactions went up 86% at South Lake Union restaurants. There was also an 82% increase in foot traffic during that time. Any Amazon layoffs will have a ripple effect on other local businesses in the area. Yeah, for sure.
In the new
Ripple effect indeed. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 3. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You know, remote work has also destroyed the economy to a certain degree, because most people from the so-called pandemic were working from home, which means no foot traffic at lunchtime to certain coffee shops, certain sandwich places, cafes, pizza places, burger places, no lunchtime traffic. So that's affecting their bottom line, you know, closing down certain stores and affecting jobs, you know, that staff have, you know, waiting staff, cooks, chefs, and all that, you know, so it affects everything, you know. So they're talking about when people came back to the office 3 days a week, you know, foot traffic went up, people were spending in their local area, in their local neighborhood, in their local town center where they work, you know. So with these layoffs in that certain area, it's going to affect it significantly. And this is happening on a global scale, not just in Ground Zero Babylon alone. Okay. First, they reduce the hours, and then they take you away from the job. The same way they're doing in the local banks in my area. They were open from, I think it was 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then I think it was maybe just 3 hours a day window they'd give you, or a couple of hours just for elderly folk to come and use the bank. Now the bank is shut. It's being painted over with white paint, you know. So in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Okay, no grinding, no work. And the doors shall be shut in the streets, and that's literal, okay, in terms of work and businesses. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, no work, okay. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. Terrible music. Back in the day, there'd be optimism in music, a lot of romance. Everything's going to be all right, you know. You know, all these kinds of positive messages within music. You know, the way the vibration of the music would be, it'd give you optimism and happiness, and think that, yeah, everything's gonna be all right next week. Tomorrow's another day, you know. Now that's taken out the window. AI's taken over your jobs, and even in damn music, you got that AI robotic type voice or whatever, in these weird, you know, these newer type music. Okay, is soulless. All right, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. Verse 5. Yeah, that's it. Daughters of music shall be brought low. No grinding, no optimism. Daughters of music shall be brought low. And at the end of the day, as people have been saying, I don't know whether to feed myself or put fuel in the car. I don't know whether to, I'm working all these hours, and for what? I'm just breaking even, or I'm still in debt every month. That's what people are saying. Haggai 1:6. They're putting money into a bag with holes. Paraphrasing the scripture there. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. Okay, because a lot of people don't intermittent fast, don't fast at all. They're constantly shoveling food in their mouth. Food is a blessing. Food and drink is a blessing, especially if it's so-called decent food. But the Lord did say we were going to eat our bread defiled on this side, right? Hence the reason why prayer is very, very important. So so you're protected by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. People are already eating their food and drink by measure. We've got Edomites in the UK having one meal per day because of their benefits. They can't have breakfast or lunch, so what they do is they have like a couple of fish sticks in the evening, or fish fingers, maybe half a can of baked beans and a piece of toast, and then they'll have that 24 hours later again. They'll break their food up. So everybody's already on that sort of on that vibration of eating their food with measure. The term gluttony is going to be something which will be out of the window. Ain't going to be no more overeating. Only the elect are going to have their food and drink. The Lord did say his men are going to eat, and they're going to eat, to their heart's content, and have good sleep when all hell is breaking loose around the rest of the world, Ezekiel 4:16 again. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. Okay, so if you got no money, no job, nothing coming in, all right, no food trucks, stores are going to close because people don't have the money to spend there. They don't have the EBT, SNAP benefits, and all that kind of thing. They don't have these things. What do you think is going to happen? Right? And no food coming in, right? It looks like a recipe for disaster, right? Well, it's going to lead to cannibalism, and you're going to see that play out very soon. Okay, so all these things have a chain reaction. Okay, so Amazon just cutting these jobs alone, they just focus on Amazon, and they talked about the chain reaction with regards to businesses in that area, how they were affected when people actually started coming back to work physically in the office instead of working remotely, and how much foot traffic went up and how much the economy got better to a certain degree. But now with these job losses and a lot of with these job losses and certain people still working mainly remote, right? It's affecting a lot of areas. Okay, less disposable income, which leads to closures of businesses. All right, which means that the Lord is completely, going to put the padlock on America forever very soon. All right, just America is a corporation, it is a business. Put a sticker on it, out of business. So that's where it's going to, man. So this is just another good sign, the fact that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is destroying America, the Edomite kingdom, piece by piece by piece. And we're seeing it in real time. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala. Shalom.